We are back with more World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore mode. If you're not familiar with the rules, I'll go over them really quick so we can get into the video. WoW Classic Hardcore mode is a community challenge where you only have one life. This means if your character dies, you have to delete it. All crafting professions are allowed, and there's no auction house or no player trading, so you are on your own. There is a full website with all the rules. I will put a link down in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Before we get started, I just want to give a massive thank you for all the support I got on the first video. This stuff ain't easy, so I really appreciate it. I'll put a link down below if you want to check it out for yourself. If you haven't seen it already, let's get into this one. After the epic rescue of saving Rhynag and reaching level 10, I made my way to the Mage trainer in Orgrimmar, who had some new abilities for me as well as a new quest. I got the Hearth out back to Razor Hill because I knew it was actually faster this time. And while I was there, someone was nice enough to wave at me, so I waved back and wished him good luck. I made my way south back to my old stomping grounds in Sinjin Village. I got to Sinjin Village and got right to work. I met with Unthua to see what he had for me. Turns out the vibes were off down in the Echo Isles, or in this case, bad juju. He was offering me a weapon that would nearly triple my damage when I run out of mana, so I had to do it. I swam to the Echo Isles, crushed some skulls, I cleared out all the bad vibes that I could, and I was really thankful that this was a lot easier than the last time I was on these isles, where I almost died a few times. I turned in my quest and equipped the new staff, and look, it even matches my hair. Awesome. After that, I made my way back up to Razor Hill to craft some potions. Then I ran a little bit more north, buffed up, drank every potion I had, because it's time to take out some more of the local wildlife. Haha, got a beat stick. So do you remember in the first one when I said my cockiness would get me killed? That almost happened. I dropped down to take out an enemy for a quest and was quickly humbled by someone else in the area. This poor soul aggroed too many enemies in the area, and in an attempt to run for his life, he unfortunately lost it. And now it was my turn. I started by trying to sneak around the corner, but did not know there was an enemy back there. In a panic, I started to run away. I needed to have a better plan if I was going to do this right. After the death I just witnessed, you would have thought I'd be a little more methodical with my decisions here, but I made just about every single slip up I could. I needed to run out of here as quickly as possible. I drank a potion, tried to LOS everything that I could, and just barely slipped away with my life. You can really tell how stressed I was here. Ooh. After that, I decided it was time to train up a little more, so I hit level 11, made my way to the Drygalt Ravine, where some more of the local wildlife was begging to be slaughtered. During my killing spree, I was invited to a group, which sadly is not allowed in hardcore. In a combo of bad sportsmanship and resisting attacks, the next few minutes were kind of rough, traveling next to the person I just declined. I could have let them have a hard time with this enemy that just spawned, but I did notice a chest over there on the right, so I took this enemy out as quickly as I could and got the chest for myself. After that, I made my way to a merchant to buy some more bag space and made my way to the Barrens. When I got there, I was fully expecting to have to blur the chat for the entirety of this video, but I was actually met with some pretty wholesome content. Someone was having some confidence issues with tanking Wailing Caverns, and there was full community support in the chat, and it was really nice to see. I made my way over to the crossroads where I knew was going to be my home for quite a bit, so I talked to the innkeeper, made it my home, and got a quick trip back to Orgrimmar. Whee! When I landed, I turned in the delivery quests I needed to do and made my way back to the crossroads to finish it up. What I didn't realize before the delivery quest was how close I was to level 12, so I had to make my way back to Orgrimmar to get all my new skills. It was a quick return trip, but I got all my new skills and made my way back to the Barrens to keep on going. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for making it this far. These videos take quite a bit of time to edit, so I really appreciate that you're here. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more. Check out my other social media pages. All the links are down in the description. Let's get back into it. Back into questing in the Barrens, I completely forgot how insane some of the drop rates are. I'd killed about 15 of these Planestriders so far and hadn't gotten a single beak from them. I was getting really frustrated, as you can tell. Just drop a beak. Since I was close, I decided to run down to Ratchet so I could grab a couple more quests there, because it couldn't hurt while I'm in the area anyways. I grabbed every single quest that I could and noticed a high-level Alliance player down at the end of the docks. With major fears that I would activate my PvP by accidentally clicking on him, I ran away. A few minutes after that encounter, I had a really hard time with some raptors outside of Ratchet. I was really thankful for my Frost Nova spell, or else I would have been a goner. After freezing the raptor in place again, a warrior came out of nowhere and actually helped me out quite a bit. It might not have been much for them, but it was a lot for me. Gaining some experience killing some more local wildlife, I finally got my first Planestrider beak. Oh, I finally got a beak. After a while, I went back to Ratchet and finally hit level 13. Things were looking real good. A little while later, I decided to make another trip to Orgrimmar where a wardrobe change was in need. I was tired of wearing a t-shirt, and a robe was a lot more fitting as a mage. I also grabbed my journeyman alchemy and herbalism skills and hearthed my way back to the Barrens so I could get back to work. When I got back to the Barrens, I noticed there was a chat interaction that I just could not help but share. An unfortunate typo for somebody turned into a really fun joke for the rest of us. You know, playing this game alone doesn't mean you can't get your fair amount of trash talk in. Let's listen. Oh shit. He's gonna find his friend. Oh, you missed, bitch. Some feedback I got from a friend after the last video was to include some live commentary, so I really can't help but include some of this. Oh, I got a booty key. And I'm also a child at heart, so... The booty chest. Booty. It was then I faced my toughest test yet with the Samoplange quest. Thankfully, there were groups of other players around me, or else this would not have been possible. Just because you can't group with other people doesn't mean they can't help out. After I got all the machine parts I needed, I waited in line for the next quest. The quest objective enemy did have a really long spawn timer. Someone was asking for an invite, but since I am playing hardcore, I had to decline, and they laughed at me. I got bored waiting in line, so I decided to train. I reached level 14. I was feeling really good about this run so far. Someone else, due to the spawn times, was asking for a group. Sadly, I had to decline again. Thankfully, they understood, but aside from trying to stay alive, this is actually one of the harder parts of hardcore for me. I love grouping up with randoms for stuff like this, so this kills me. Shortly after that, Tinkerer Sniggles did spawn, and even though we didn't group up, Abinda was very helpful in my kill for this. It's not that I couldn't have done it myself, it was really nice just to have somebody there, even though I couldn't group up. Some people are just really nice, and it was really nice to see in this game. I wished them good luck and made my way back to the crossroads so I could fly back to Orgrimmar to get my new level 14 spells. I made it back to Orgrimmar, and I ran to the Mage Trainer in the Valley of Spirits to learn all of my new abilities, and then finally decided that I needed to backtrack to the last couple quests in Durotar. What this meant for me was going back to Skull Rock, where on a previous run I had lost my Orc Warlock, so I had a little bit of PTSD walking into this cave. Although he was only level 9, that was one of my favorite runs I've ever done in hardcore, so this was really hard to swallow. To avenge my Warlock, I needed to go hard. I made my way back to the cave to take out Gazuz. It's probably pronounced Gazuz, but I didn't care. I needed to kill him to avenge my Warlock. Following Obi-Wan's advice, I took the high ground and it was pretty much nothing. His Voidwalker would have been a real big problem, but because he couldn't path up to me, I had the upper hand. This was yet another example about how another Burning Blade leader was just about nothing, at least when you're prepared for it. After almost 30 minutes of fighting around in this cave, nothing happened. I was about to leave and I saw somebody else come through. To me, this meant that the already insane drop rates were about to get even higher with having to split some of the mobs with somebody else. This priest obviously had a good answer with trying to invite me to a group, but sadly, because of hardcore, again, I could not join him. Unfortunately, because of this for them, I was not paying attention. I tried to save him from one of the Burning Blade acolytes, but couldn't. Another ally of the Horde fell before me. I wished them well in their next run. Shortly after their death, I decided it was time to leave the cave and finish what I had started from the beginning of the video. Take out Fizzle. I wasn't too far from Thunder Ridge, and I had gained a few levels, so I think I can take him this time. I had learned from my past mistakes, and I decided to take each mob out one by one this time. Since I was prepared this time, I was not going to panic. You poor sleeping bastard. This was it. I finally had Fizzle alone. After all of my training, him and his imp were no match for me. I was fighting with the power of my Warlock, my priest friend that died, and Shovel. For without his sacrifice, I would not have trained to get to this moment. And after all that, Fizzle Darkstorm had been slain. I returned to Razor Hill to spread the word that Fizzle Darkstorm had been defeated. This had brought up a follow-up quest that would bring me back to Skull Rock, so I turned in the follow-up and I knew that was going to be my next step. The Burning Blade is pretty persistent, so I knew I needed to prepare. I went back to Orgrimmar and bought a wand. I knew I was very close to level 15, so I knew I'd be able to equip it pretty quickly. I went back to the Barrens to kill something just to hit level 15, and that's the furthest I've been in a hardcore run so far. I want to give a massive thank you to anybody who has made it this far. This video took 6 hours of recording time and so much more time in editing, so I greatly appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments what worked, what didn't. Drop a like, that's all I ask for. And feel free to check out all of my other social media pages. Links will be in the description. Most importantly, my Twitch channel, where I did just start another hardcore run on a Dwarf Paladin. He's still alive, so let's check that out. I try to stream at least once a week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.